Are you listening? Damn.
Another episode of Trash Talk. TJ O'Connor with me as always, my partner Damian the Wolverine Hill. Trash Talk is joined tonight by number 5 ranked Damaris Waldner, who's fighting December 21st at Canterbury Park against Shannon Clark for Driller Promotions. Trash Talk is sponsored as always by Valhalla Combat Sports Incorporated, Ink Shrinks Tattoo, Origin Wellness CBD, The Fighters, and my mom. Damaris, how are you tonight? Appreciate you joining us.
I'm good. I just finished training and I'm good.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely appreciate it.
It's always good to hear.
No, I'm sorry.
Go for it, TJ. Go for it.
I was going to say, no, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. We're just under 2 weeks away from the fight here now. Just for the fans that might not be as familiar as we are, how about a little bit of information as far as your background in the martial arts? How long have you been training? Where do you train at?
I train at Next Edge Academy. It's going to be 2 years in January, I think. So I did boxing for like a few months only, and then I slowly started like watching the jiu-jitsu more and more, and I just became more interested. And so like one day I was like, I'm going to try that, and I fell in love with jiu-jitsu. And then after like I did jiu-jitsu and boxing, I was like, that kickboxing, that looks fun too. So I started doing kickboxing, and now I do, I guess, a combo of everything MMA.
Well, that's pretty interesting to hear. I mean, getting the experience in each individual art and then going to the art that combines them all, that's amazing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So you made your first fight back in June.
Yep.
And then the first time I seen you fight where I really think you made a really strong impression was your last performance in October for North Star Combat.
Yep.
I mean, I feel like you showed dominant grappling. You mentioned how you got into striking before grappling. I would have naturally assumed that grappling was your home base because you felt so comfortable there, it looked like.
Yeah. I've definitely been working my striking too this camp, but my coach, Bruce Hoyer, he's like one of the best grappling coaches I feel like in the game. And he's just like, he helps us grow and improve like it's like none other. And it just, I feel like everyone that trains under him will naturally feel really like confident with their jiu-jitsu skills. And that's how I just felt my last fight. I was like my first fight, I wanted to like take her down and grapple her, but I guess it was just the nerves of the first fight, and I was just like holding myself back. But my second fight, I wanted to try everything, and if like the grappling opportunity was gonna come, I was gonna take it, and I got the opportunity to show it, and I did.
Yeah, you mentioned that, just taking advantage of what you got and having the coaching behind you. Have you been with Bruce your whole training?
Yep. Yeah. I started here at Next Edge, and yeah. That's where I'm going to retire.
That's awesome. Because, I mean, like you said, obviously one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in South Dakota, let alone the Midwest. So,
yeah,
obviously you have great tutelage, and it sounds like they're focusing in on you, allowing you to become the best fighter you possibly can be. So that's great to hear that there's so much invested in you.
Yeah, for sure. It's Next Edge Academy is by far, like, for sure the best gym in South Dakota. If not, for sure this region, for sure. Like, I feel like.
No, I mean, definitely, I can't not agree with you.
Yeah.
So getting into the fight here that we have on December 21st, like I mentioned, you just fought in October, so it's pretty quick turnaround. When did you actually get the call for this fight, and what do you know about Shannon as an opponent?
Mm-hmm. I feel like my coach brought it up, I should say, about maybe 2-3 weeks after. I really don't remember. I've known quite a while now, and I really don't know nothing about her. I mean, I don't know much about her, but I can just assume that she's tough and she's going to bring out the best in me, and we're just going to put on a show.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's such a good mindset to have, especially as an amateur. We talk about that all the time on the show, is just focusing on yourself and what you can bring, because there's so many changes that can happen between opponent changes, dates changing. Things are crazy. So just focusing on yourself is obviously always going to be the best thing. What has the camp been like for this fight? What have you been focusing on as far as anything different, or has it just been focusing on improving day to day?
Yeah, for sure. Just giving it like my best every training session and like working everything, my wrestling, jiu-jitsu, striking, just everything in general, so I can just, yeah, give it my all every day and know that the day of the fight that I did my best this whole camp and I can be happy with whatever happens.
Yeah, definitely. And that's beautiful to hear the mindset you have, especially being so young, just the understanding of the game. That obviously goes with the experience that your coach and your team have to allow you to, understand these things. And so as far as this fight, you mentioned you don't really know much about your opponent. Is that something that you focus on, or do you not watch a lot of film as far as ever? Do you leave that to the coaches? Or, I mean, I know some people that they love to fight, but they don't like watching fights at all. Are you not really a fan of watching fighting?
Yeah, no, I feel like I'd probably psych myself out too much. I don't know. I don't like knowing anything about them because I just feel like it messes with your mind, and like you're going to start comparing yourself, and at the end of the day, your skills are like could be way different than hers or better, or just I just feel like we compare each other too much and take away, like we put doubt in our own minds, and then it's like you rob yourself basically, and I don't like that. I tend to not do that.
Definitely. The biggest enemy, the biggest task of a fighter can always be yourself and the mental aspect of it. So getting past those hurdles, focusing on yourself. I never like to ask anything about a game plan. That's something that needs to stay between you and your coaches. But if you had to narrow it down, what would be one thing that you need to bring to the cage with you on December 21st to ensure that your hand gets raised?
That's a good one. I feel like just my absolute best. Like, yeah, I mean, we're both athletes and we both want to win and we both want to like be good and go places with in the sport, and I'll just have to bring my very best from whatever happens to be better that night, whether it's striking or wrestling or my jiu-jitsu. I have to bring it my all and just give it my best.
Definitely. And that's all you can really ask for is if you show up, you put the work in, and that's kind of where we're at. Like I said, we're less than 2 weeks out. The hard work essentially is done at this point. The fun part as far as making weight, but then the best part, actually getting in there and fighting. Yep. What type of fight are you expecting on the 21st? I mean, I know I was a visual person. I would go through the fights a million times in my head and, how can I win? How can I lose? What can happen? If you had to narrow down, what if you had to give a guess, and it's never correct, believe me, the million times I guess, it never works out that way. But how do you envision this fight going down on the 21st?
I really I have no idea. It's a fight. Anything can happen. And since I don't know nothing about her, I really don't have an idea. But I feel like I'll be dominant in whichever way however it goes, like whether it's striking or jiu-jitsu or whatever. I feel like I'll be the more dominant one.
That's awesome, and I'm very excited for this fight. I know you don't know much about your opponent, but we've had the chance to talk to her a couple times, and I feel like you guys are very similar in the way you go about this. You both, I'm expecting a really good fight. The fans always love it when two gals get in there and throw it, and then we don't have to mention two highly ranked females. So I'm excited. I know the fans are excited. Just before we wrap it up tonight, is there any teammates, sponsors, coaches, anybody outside of the gym that you'd want to take this time just to give a shout out to or thanks to that's been there for you this camp?
Yeah, for sure. Well, number one, my sponsor, Breaking Burrito. He's awesome. Always provides me with anything that I need. And everyone at Next Edge Academy, my coaches, Bruce Hoyer, Roberta Spaldat, Ian Ritchie, they're amazing. I wouldn't be where I am today without them. And my number one teammate and training partner, Cheyenne, she's amazing. I just wouldn't be where I am today, and I'm just super grateful for them.
That's beautiful, and knowing that you have that type of support around you. We talk about it extensively on the show, but there's nothing more relaxing and comforting for a fighter knowing that they have a team of people that generally care for them and want the best for them. So that's great to hear that you have that with you and that you're bringing that to the cage with you on December 21st. Again, Ms. Waldner, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. I'm really excited for this fight. I think this is going to be an exciting one for the fans, for everybody everybody involved. Again, it's December 21st at Canterbury Park. Number 5 ranked Damaris Waldner is going against number 10 ranked Shannon Clark. That's for Driller Promotions. Get your tickets, come and support. And again, I appreciate you taking the time to join us. I wish you nothing but the best of luck here finishing up camping in the fight.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Thanks for having me.
Oh, of course. It's our pleasure. Thank you.
Yep.
Are you listening? Damn.